Hi, this video is all about how to fine-tune or adjust the wheel alignment tracking on the Jaguar F-Type. So most of us love our F-Types. Mine went in for a service recently. They noticed the tyre wear was a little bit more on the inside of the tyre at the front compared to the outside, so they recommended a tracking check and adjustment. I did that on the front. And I'll show you how you can do it yourself. I actually prefer to do it myself. I've often been to a shop before, and most people would go to a garage or shop to get it done, but they tend to do it a little bit too quickly for my liking. Adjust it, and once it's inside a particular range, they say that'll do. I quite like to spend a lot more time on it and make sure that the alignment is absolutely perfect to minimize the tyre wear. So I checked and adjusted the front using one of these devices. It's a Gunson Trakrite. You basically drive over the machine, the meter, and it tells you whether your alignment is toe in or toe out, and you can use it on the front or the back. And you just need a couple of spanners. I quite like to use these adjustable Stilson spanners, I think they're called. Some people call them monkey wrenches. So I've got a question on, I think, one of the Facebook groups for Jaguar F-Type. Does anyone know how to adjust the rear wheel alignment? Nobody answered, but got underneath the car, had a look, and actually it's surprisingly easy, and the setup for adjusting it is just like on the front. Now there's another video of mine about how to do generic adjustments to cars. They're all the same, mostly all the same anyhow, from what I can see. For front wheel alignment, so you can have a look at that on my channel. Come in handy now. Happens to be on a Triumph Stag, but as I say, it's all the same, different cars. Basically just is a nut and a twist of a rod. But how do we do it on the rear suspension? Because it is a little bit of a fraction out on this car. So if we go underneath, and I'll just put the flash on so that we can see, and if we come underneath here, and actually this setup, this sort of arrangement is exactly the same as you'll have on the front suspension, and actually connects over to the steering rack on the front, whereas obviously this one is fixed. So dead easy to do, just need to spend some time adjusting it and then remeasuring using the tracking meter. So how do we check ourselves whether the tyre wear is even or not? Well, you can get yourself one of these little tread measuring gauges, which are quite handy, very cheap to get. And what you do is find a spot on one side of your tyre, probably equal distance on both sides from the edge, find a slot to put it in, push it flat against the tyre, then you can read off how much tread you've got. So that's 3mm on that one, and the same distance from the edge on this side. Probably best to do it a couple of times. It's about 2.5. Let's just do that again without getting all the rubbish in the way. So that's about 1 inch from the edge, and you have about 2.5. Do this side again, and about 3 fractional amount more wear on the outside edge of the tyre. Of course that's perfectly possible, because if you're taking corners at high speed, you'll tend to get more scrubbing on the outside, so it's certainly not a huge amount out on this one. And don't forget to measure the other side as well. Outside is about 2.5. Inside is about 2. So pretty close to each other. The tracking did, however, tend to have it as towing in a little bit too much. Subjectively looks like the tread is a little bit more worn on the outside compared to the in. Let's measure the spot. 3. That is nearly 5. Yeah, it's a big difference between here and here. The track meter showed, as I say, it was towing in. So what we're going to do is adjust it. To work out which direction to turn this lock nut, you need to look very carefully at the threads to see if it's a left hand or right hand thread. And as you can see, well, the threads sort of come in or go out as you're looking around the surface. I believe this nut, we have to turn it in that direction to undo it. So we undo the lock nut by turning it this way, and then we need to work out which direction to rotate this bar, this rod that I'm pointing at. The car was on the rear towing in a little bit, so we want it to tow out some more. And in order to tow out, we've got to shorten this bar. And if you think about the way the thread is operating, then to shorten this bar, then this rotatable rod or bar has got to rotate, the bottom bar has got to rotate in that direction. So we then just move it one flat, get our wrench around it, try and hold this one steady with a mould grip. Then if you look at where the flaps are, we need to rotate that round, one whole flap, which is about that, and then action more, and then tighten up the lock nut again and do the same the other side, checking which way you need to rotate the nut and the bar to, in this case, to shorten the total length of the bar to make it tow out. I like to fully tighten the nut as tight as you can with these sort of wrenches. That means if you get the alignment right, you don't have to bother coming underneath again. And also by tightening it, you might make a fractional difference to the length of the rod as it moves, as the nut moves against the threads. That's just my personal preference. So next we measure the alignment with our Gunson Trakrite. Position it with the dial on the outside of the car. Make sure it's moving smoothly. And the gauge is operating, which it is. So you see the way these things work. If you've got too much toe in, then what's going to happen is the slightly uneven pressure on the tyre is going to be pushing against the ground, pushing it out, and as a result you can read off the too much toe-in angle. This is the angle that's indicated. So you need to try and centralise it so that this line is across the middle of the tyre. Get it so that it's pointing in a nice straight direction. Get it on the 0 mark and then drive over it. Do it a couple of times, both sides, and take an average reading. So in this case, after driving over it, we got 0.25 too much toe in, so it needs a little bit more of adjustment on that one. So of course then you just keep getting underneath again, adjusting those tracking rods until you're happy with the toe-out specification. From what I could find on the internet, it should be about 0.1 degree toe in, plus or minus 0.1 I believe. So near enough straight ahead parallel with a slight lean towards a fraction of toe in. So we want it 0.1 is we want it somewhere around about that position or so. So well within the OK band on this meter. So that's how to adjust your rear wheel alignment, and it's exactly the same method for adjusting the front wheel alignment on any car. Just as on the Jag, it's exactly the same method for the rear, which makes it easy. So if you do decide to have a go yourself, it's good to get it absolutely perfect, take your time over it, and you don't get any of that oh that'll do attitude from taking it to a garage or a tyre shop. Well, I appreciate most people will do that. There is another benefit of taking it to a garage, so they can check the alignment between the front and the back and make sure they're both pointing in the same direction. But unless you've had a crash, I don't think that's going to be an issue. and I personally prefer to do things myself. Take your time, get it perfect, minimise your tyre wear, and save you a bit of money in the long run. So after a lot of measuring and adjusting, I managed to get it with it reading both sides on 0.1 degrees fairly consistently, so I'm quite happy with that. If you want to know where to buy those Gunson Trakrite from, I'll put some links for buying in the video description. Perhaps also a link for those tyre tread gauges as well. Okay, thanks for watching.